It is week 5 of Lakeshore PBS Sports. We've got girls sectional action. We've got some preview of some boys games coming up and a highlight of the Munster girls basketball team coming up next.
Become your best at IU Northwest with more than 70 high-quality degree programs, a convenient location, and affordable tuition. Learn how you can join more than 29,000 IU Northwest alumni at iun.edu.
Valparaiso University is a place for you to grow. It's where professors are there to help you find your passions, and it's where you'll make connections that last a lifetime. Learn more at valpo.edu.
Doing as much as you can, as quickly as you can, is important to me. Life is short, and the earlier we get started helping our community, the better off our community will be.
My name is Ben Kolazinski, this is Tommy Williams, and we've got Joe Arredondo on sabbatical this week. But I tell you what, this is an exciting time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The Indiana Girls High School Basketball Tournament has started, and I can't be more excited.
And I thought Christmas was the best time of the year. But you are absolutely correct. As a matter of fact, we had the best game yesterday. Lake Station versus Andrea turned out to be a winner.
Very tight game, really exciting, and we're going to look at some of those highlights here real quick. So Lake Station at 17-5 this year. They're playing really tough, but Andrean at 22-3, and that's a big reason why right there. That's Tori Allen draining the three from the wing.
No, that's Miss Tori Allen. I mean, she just had herself one heck of a game overall. 26 points for the outing. Lake Station tried to hang in there with their outside shooting, but Andrean too tough.
You saw Tarika Randolph there with the three, and then answered by Liv Delevic there. Andrean looked to shoot the ball from deep often in this game, and really had a lot of force from behind the arc. And again, Tori Allen, I should say, Darnay Tony had herself a big day for Lake Station, but bottom line is a little bit of the inside game, there it is right there. That helps because Lake Station's not that big a basketball team. You know, it was a situation where there was a lot of points scored by Lake Station. Randolph had 24 points, Tony had 20 points, and that is a lot of scoring here, but the force of Andrean was a little too much for this team. And again, when Andrean gets some scoring from other people outside of Allen, they're going to be a hard team to beat. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, they are one of the top 3 teams in the region, if you ask me. Oh, I agree. I think they would hold their own against some of the bigger schools here in Northwest Indiana. But we're not trying to sell Lake Station short here. Lake Station played a heck of a game. That was number 23 Randolph there again scoring, but Andrean always had an answer, and that was Arcella there with the layup. And if you think about the last 3 times these two teams played one another, it's the same game plan over and over. Allen and support from the other kids on the team, putting points on the board, using that size to their advantage. It just made it tough for Lake Station, and you know I'm not going to put down the Eagles. They had a great season. Oh, of course they did. The really talented team, Andrean was just a little bit too much. They win 59-54 in the sectional first round there. An excellent game, and I really enjoyed how this game played out. Really a lot of heart from both of these teams. Best game of the year so far in the sectionals. So coming ahead, we've got Andrean taking on Ileana Christian, and you got a pick here. Well, yeah, I'd pick Andrean to win this basketball game between a team that's won 10 in a row, the 59ers, going up against Ileana Christian. Congratulations to you on getting that first ever sectional win in Indiana. But now you're going up against a buzzsaw. I think Andrean wins the game. I think that's a good pick right there. That's the experience of Andrean going up against the Ileana Christian team. I think that's a good pick. That's going to be fun to watch. All right, so we had another exciting game here from Northwest Indiana. We had Valparaiso taking on Crown Point in the first round of the sectionals. And of course, if you're Crown Point,
It's tough. I mean, you had the two big girls last year that helped you make it to a state championship 2 seasons before, and a great year the year after that, going up against a Valparaiso team that, even though they had one of their tough girls injured, they still came out with their A game.
Well, they have freshman Lillian Barnes, who's playing outstanding this game, and she had 16 points here. You saw her there with the layup.
As a matter of fact, we're going to have 3 girls who will be sophomores next year. One from Munster, one for Lake Central, and one right here. We're going to have some serious talent playing next year.
Hey, yeah, we've got potential Miss Basketball talent here in Northwest Indiana over the next few years.
Times 3.
Times 3. So now, Crown Point obviously lost a lot of talent this year. They still played pretty tough here against Valpo. This was a low-scoring game, but their defense did show up in this game and kind of limited some of Valpo's scoring.
And so don't forget, some of these girls did get playing time in the tournament last year. So yeah, Crown Point's going to play tough. They obviously are a well-coached basketball team.
That was Abby Foster with a left hand. Beautiful play there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Chris Siebert is one heck of a coach, and he's going to bring back some girls that are going to have some experience. Will they be able to top what they did 2 years ago? We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, it's kind of hard to top a state championship game, but I will say this much. I've known Chris Siebert for a long time. He is an excellent coach. He's very passionate, and he will get these ladies playing really well going in the future.
And as for Valparaiso, Will, their coach, obviously, Candy Wilson, her basketball team playing well. And again, as we mentioned, one of their top players were injured, so she's not being able to play, but they have basically shaken that off, and they're doing good so far this tournament.
They have rebounded well from some of the shock of those injuries. They are 21-2 on the season. They did just lose recently to Lake Central, but this team is still hitting on all cylinders. This is a very dangerous team as the tournament goes on.
Oh, if it comes down to Lake Central versus Valparaiso sometime down the road, get your tickets ASAP. That's going to be fun.
I'll have my popcorn ready for that game.
Get your popcorn ready.
That was Linda Smith with the left hand there, but this game, low-scoring game, 6 points. Valparaiso takes the game 40-34. Really exciting, a defensive battle really in this one.
And let me ask you, if you're Crown Point, do you take something out of this game going into next year?
Well, you take the experience. You obviously have new players in the roles. You have to, take what you can and go with it. So
there you go.
Tommy, you made another pick for Valpo the next game.
Yeah, who you got? Let's say Valparaiso's going to win this one. The last time the two teams played was in mid-December, and it didn't go well for Chesterton. I think it's going to happen again this week, although a closer game.
That is the battle for Meridian, the Campbell Street there in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Okay.
I am biased. I am a Valpo alum, but I will say this much. It's always fun to see a rivalry in the state tournament.
You make me sick with all this Valparaiso.
I got to love Valpo. I got to represent my green and white there. Right?
I know you do. I know.
So even though I did go to Valpo, I do currently live in Couts, Indiana. That's my surrogate new home here. And so it's a beautiful community, and we've got looking ahead to Couts' next matchup against Lake Station. Go ahead and start looking at Couts here. They're 10-6 right now, but they have won 5 out of the last 6 games.
And here's another team that did well in the state tournament last year, trying to break in new people. And so far, so good. You got to like that head coach over there.
Yeah, Coach Duzan is an excellent coach. I've had the opportunity to meet him a few times, speak with him. He's very well respected in the community, and he's done a lot of good work with this team. If you remember, 2 years ago, they went to the state finals, and they had a tremendous amount of talent, and he's turned this crew into a very productive team.
And here's the thing about this basketball team. You're not a squad that has a bunch of the same last names as last year.
Right.
They've turned that around.
2 sets of twins 2 years ago for that team, but if you look, they're drilling they still have that good shooting from the outside. That was Matthew Baker there hitting the 3 from the corner. An excellent player. He's been a starter there for quite some time.
Yeah, and this is a basketball team that needs experience. I'm not saying that they're not going to do well in the tournament, but obviously they want to take the experience of what they did do last year into tournament time this year, and of course that game against Lake Station tonight.
And Lake Station is going to be a tough matchup for them. A lot of athleticism there, but Couts plays good fundamental basketball. You can see, and a turnaround and a fadeaway. That was a Tristan Ballas there.
Hello.
Beautiful play. So Couts is on a little bit of a roll right now. They've won 5 out of the last 6. They are averaging 53 points per game, which is not the highest, but it's a good respectable number. But they're led by Andrews and Baker there for their squad. So this is a talented squad. It's They do have a tall task in front of them, though.
And you get to pick this game, right?
I do get to pick this game.
I want to see this because
we're
I'm going to
gonna
tell
see.
you, don't expect this to be a blowout because Lake Station's a good basketball team, but Counts ain't bad either. Yes, I said ain't, sorry. But anyway, I do believe we have some Lake Station stuff coming your way. And this is a basketball team that's had themselves one heck of a season so far this year to the point that they're number 2. Did I give it away?
Yeah, maybe. That's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. One of the top teams, let's put it that way, in Northwest Indiana. So let's say we take you out to Lake Station.
And when you're 14-1, you're going to be one of the top teams in Northwest Indiana.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. There is Maurice Turks with the basket there. And, of course, from the corner, there is the Willie Miller, who's had himself a pretty good season. The thing I like about Lake Station, well-rounded team. There are times that Willie won't have the big game, but somebody will come out of nowhere and put the ball in the basket, including this guy. That was Miller. I'm sorry, Willie Miller with the bucket. They also have a young man on this team named Armani Gonzalez. You'll see him later, and he can hit the baskets as well. As a matter of fact, he hit a winning three-point shot earlier this year.
They're really well coached. Coach Burke has them really playing with a high motor. They're averaging 70 points per game, high flying, and they're also getting 32 rebounds per game, so they're crashing the boards. That is all about hustle.
And again, you mentioned something very important. Hitting the glass, hitting the rebounds. That hurt them in the tournament last year. Now they're hitting the glass more. They've got guys that could score at any time from any position on the floor. They're going to be a tough team come tournament time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this matchup might not be as pretty, in my opinion. I'm sorry, my fellow Couts folks. I am picking against Couts this week. I am very impressed with what Lake Station has had to offer. They have a lot of talent and a lot of explosive scoring potential. I do think that Couts has the opportunity to score against them, but it is on the road. It's at Lake Station. Lake Station, I think, is going to get the W this week.
Good luck going back home tonight.
I know I can't show my face in town anymore. I guess I'm going to have to lay low a little bit. But there is no shame in losing to one of the top teams.
Well, yeah, they are one of the top, no doubt.
But we will see. We still got to play the game, right?
True.
Speaking of another game, we've got Michigan City, who's going to be taking on Bowman Academy this week. This is a really exciting game with a lot of talent.
As a matter of fact, Bowman, another one of my guys. I get to see them sometime when this game takes place, which I believe is next Tuesday. But how about Michigan City? We talked about them earlier, and we mentioned that we didn't expect them to be as good as they turned out to be.
Right. You know, they've won 3 out of the last 5 games. The record is 11-5, but they're really starting to hit their stride right now.
Yeah. You're thinking maybe old graduate Delray Brooks might have checked back in and check back in, but these guys seem to be able to put the ball in the basket, and there you go from the corner. Yeah.
Right. They have 2 players that are averaging 20 points per game this season. You've got Jamie Hodges and Anthony Murphy, both averaging 20 points. That is a very well-balanced team here. And, it's not just those 2 players. They're averaging 66 points. So there's other players contributing as well.
Which means Bowman Academy will have one of their toughest challenges, and we'll talk about them later because they have sort of turned the season around. Big congratulations to you, head coach Tyrone Robinson. But again, Michigan City having themselves a pretty good game. And I tell you what, I expect that to be a fun basketball game when they play next Tuesday.
Absolutely. 2 well-coached teams, a lot of athleticism. You saw that right there. That was Sam Wojnarowski. He with the up and under. These teams can shoot. They've got Murphy, they've got Briggs, they've got Franklin, they've got Hodges. This team can really play ball.
You notice I let you take that Wojnarowski.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm a Kolazinski. I feel that young man's pain.
Well, there you go. On the other hand, Bowman Academy, quickie backdrop on this basketball team. Got off to a bad start. Coach was upset, decided, I'm playing young kids. That's it. Old guys, sit down, watch, because I want to give these young kids a chance to play. And turned out pretty well. They're doing pretty well these days.
Well, they've won 2 out of the last 5 games. They played a lot of tough teams. But you can tell from these highlights, there's so much athleticism on these teams and a lot of hustle.
Yeah, Leon Grimes is the #1 guy you think about when it comes to Bowman Academy. He is one of the few seniors that's been getting a lot of playing time. Ooh. Yeah, that's
Speaking of Leon Grimes,
wow.
Tremendous slashing layup through the lane there.
Yeah, he is a guy that can make a shot from any place, and nice defense. Notice they're playing the D2. That's another thing that Bowman is doing better. You did mention they've only won 2 of their last 5 games, but they're 7-10. They started the year 1-5. So they have improved themselves this year.
Absolutely, and that has a lot to do with their coaching. Tyrone Robinson's an excellent coach. He's got these kids clicking at the right time, and also the skill set there. That was Leon Grimes there hitting the three from the wing. An excellent play here, but they're also hustling and getting on the glass. That was Tayshaun Gates there with the follow.
You mentioned about the coaching of T-Bone Robinson. You know who he played for? Ron Heflin.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to play for Ron Heflin, you're going to learn a whole lot about coaching, and it's really rubbed off on T-Bone. So Michigan City versus
Bowman. This is my pick here. I have Michigan City 64 and Bowman 53. I think Bowman is starting to play a little bit better. I think Michigan City has already hit their stride. And even though this is at Bowman, I think Michigan City has got a little too much talent, a little too much force behind them right now, and that momentum's going to carry them.
Don't you think that score is a little low?
It might be.
These two teams?
It might be, but there's a lot of high-scoring players, but also these teams are hustling and they're playing good defense as of late. So I think that this is a good opportunity for there to be maybe a little on the lower end. I wouldn't say a low-scoring game, but I think that there's opportunity for these teams to really lock in defensively.
Well, I'll put it this way. You're right about that, but I would not be surprised if one of those teams hits 70.
Well, you know what? It is Indiana basketball. You never know what can happen.
Very true.
There's always a good shooter out there here in Northwest Indiana that can take care of business. Speaking of good shooters, we have a highlight reel, a spotlight piece on the Munster girls basketball team. I hope you guys enjoy it.
You had a tough season last year. Now you've turned it around and you're well over 500 this season.
Last season, our program definitely struggled on the side of winning and game-wise. And so I think the biggest thing about that turnaround is, yet again, that atmospheric type of thing. Like last year, our program struggled, and so because of that, the morale was like, you only have so many people at practice. So with this big group of people, there's just so much more. Because there's more people, there's so much diversity in attitude, diversity in personality, and I feel each person brings something that helped bring that turnaround this year.
From a happiness standpoint, the way this basketball team's played this year, how happy are you with this basketball squad?
I'm extremely excited. When I got the job, I was coming into a team that was 6-13 last year, so we had nowhere to go but up. And this season has been awesome, and when I came into the season, I didn't really have high expectations. I just wanted to see what I had. I just wanted to put a competitive team on the floor. And the outcome has been awesome, and we're looking to improve and keep going.
Our coach brought a new mindset to this team. He came in with great values, strong beliefs, and goals that he intended for us to meet, and constantly reinforced it. The biggest thing I feel like that came this year was just the attitude of the coach of a fresh start. He came in saying, forget about what last year was. This is a new team. This is a new Toronto. This is a new Mustang. And I feel that was the biggest thing. That was like, it was a weight released off, and that's what helped catapult us to where we are today.
What's so good about this squad right now?
I think the biggest thing about this squad is that the morale on the team, there's a big family type of connection here, and everyone gets along. And the other thing is that there's this want for us and to work hard for each other, and that we win as a team, lose as a team. And so the biggest thing definitely just has to be the connectedness about it, and how close we are, and how our attitudes towards the game. It's like, it's all about each game. We're like working on what to get better. We see so much positive, even like in the spite of the negative during the game, and just what comes with basketball and like life.
I came into tryouts, straight off the AAU season, so it wasn't like conditioning. I think it was more like kind of like meshing with the team. But I think we worked out really well. These girls are really fun to play with, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of this team, because I think they make it a lot easier to be a part of a high school program as a middle schooler.
She brought her skill and her hard work. She brought this level of complexity in her skill that forces you to compete with her, which is helping and continuously will help each person get better, because not only is she going to have to keep competing to stay at the top and to keep her skill up there, but now everyone else has someone who they're competing. Like, this is where you want to be. So as you're competing with her, you're improving your skill. Like, even me, I got to make sure I body her out all the time. No finishes when I'm guarding her, definitely.
I try to battle in the paint with Akoma, but I just blink and the ball's in her hands. So I try, but Akoma's really got the rebounds on knockdown. And I'm okay with that because she's a senior and she's got that. And I'm perfectly fine being her guard because she's really an amazing player to play with because she's so versatile. And rebounding wise, I'm so lucky to have her because battling with those 6'2" girls is tough.
The tournament is just around the corner. How confident are you that this basketball team can make some noise in February?
I'm confident. We have a lot of heart when we play, and I feel like the goal of what we're trying to prove is going to help carry us. So I say if we bring it and we put our whole heart in it, then we can definitely make some noise this coming February.
I'm really excited to see how we come out for sectionals. We've taken some tough losses. I think if we can come together, play with energy, and play how we know how we can play, I think we'll do really well in the tournament.
That was an excellent segment there. Those young ladies seem like fantastic people. Tommy, how'd you like doing that promo there?
If it was fantastic, it was because of those young ladies. Classy young ladies. As a matter of fact, the freshman, a 4.0 GPA.
Much smarter than me.
What?
Much smarter than me. Good for that, and shows both on the court and off the court.
Exactly.
Successful student. That's
twice the
excellent.
average I had was in high school.
All righty, so let's go to the girls' top 10 in 3A and 4A. We've got Hobart at 10, Crown Point at 9, Hanover at 8 at 13 and 9, Chesterton and East Chicago are the top, are the 10 through 6, and then we've got Kankakee Valley and Munster at 4, Highland at 3. 2 at Lake Central and 1 at Valparaiso. Now, they did have a head-to-head. We'll have to see, but if you're going by record, I understand why that is the way it is, but that's definitely a very loaded top 10 there.
I said that before. I'll say it again. Get your tickets for that one ASAP. Andrean is number 1 in the Little 5, although I think they would be a top 5 team in the big poll. Number 2 is South Central. Lake Station season came to an end, but a pretty successful season at 17 and 5. Washington Township 12 and 6, and Couts 16 and 7.
Pretty loaded little 5 there as well. We'll start with the boys' top 10. I'll do 10 through 6, and you can do the rest. I will go with Portage at number 10 and Westville at 9. Gary 21st Century at 14 and 5 is at 8. Chesterton at 14 and 5 is at 7. Chesterton's starting to play some good ball right now too. North Judson at 12 and 3.
And how many times do we talk about teams that did well in the tournament that came back with graduations and coming back and doing well? Morgan Township 14 and 3. They're the number 5 team. What's up with Indiana Christian? The boys and girls teams are doing quite nicely. Munster, so what else is new? They're 15 and 2 at number 3. Lake Station, number 2. They deserve it. Good basketball squad. And we'll have a feature on Hammond Central in the near future. That is a darn good basketball team.
They are a darn good basketball team, and they've really flexed their muscle here in Northwest Indiana. So we've got some upcoming games on the girls' side. We've got Portage versus Hobart on tomorrow night.
As a matter of fact, remember this name because they only won 14 games during the regular season. She would have gotten more press. Asia Donald. She had a big game 2 nights ago.
We got Lake Central and Munster, Morgan Township at Washington Township. That's a big rivalry there. We got Bishop Knoll at Hanover Central. For the boys, we've got Maryville and Lake Central.
Yeah, Maryville struggling. They lost 6 in a row. They finally beat Lowell to end that streak. Lake Central, better record, but they lost 2 in a row. So that should be an interesting matchup.
And to round this out, we've got Munster at Calumet, Crown Point at Andrean, and Indiana Christian hosting Wheeler on the 7th. So Tommy, this is a really exciting time
Yeah, it's the best time of the
It's
year.
the
as you
most
mentioned.
wonderful time of the year. I could sing a song about it. So
That's okay.
you know, trust me, no one wants to hear that. But what I'd like to say is, if you want to see some more highlights, check us out on our Facebook page. We post a lot of the highlights there. We post this show there. We also post on YouTube and different varying media in that rights. And so there's plenty of ways that you can enjoy our content here in Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, people that I've talked to said they enjoy it, and our camera people do fantastic work. They do magnificent work. Thank you to you guys.
They're some of the best in the business. So absolutely. And we're really excited to be able to bring you some more action here in Northwest Indiana. Tommy, what are you looking forward to in the next week?
Wow, I'm looking forward to, obviously, Valparaiso and whoever they play in the finals. That's going to be fun.
Sure.
See how far Andrian goes. I mean, they won the sectional last year, but they didn't go any further than that. I want to see how far the 59ers go with Torrey Allen.
I'm excited to see how some of the boys teams are starting to move. I really want to get a closer look at Hammond Central and see how they're playing. They're number one in our league here, and so they're in our polls. So it's really interesting to see.
You want to get a closer look at them?
I do.
You'll see them in the next couple of weeks.
See them next week. So, all right, thanks, folks. We'll catch you next time.
Become your best at IU Northwest. With more than 70 high-quality degree programs, a convenient location, and affordable tuition. Learn how you can join more than 29,000 IU Northwest alumni at iun.edu.
Valparaiso University is a place for you to grow. It's where professors are there to help you find your passions, and it's where you'll make connections that last a lifetime. Learn more at valpo.edu.
Doing as much as you can, as quickly as you can, is important to me. Life is short, and the earlier we get started helping our community, the better off our community will be.